Today we'll study that how do we create beans using an XML file, and how do we create bean using a Java or a class file. So this we have already done before practically, wherein we create a XML file. We can give it any name we wish to. In that we make a bean element. That bean element, we have the class of the bean and the ID of the bean, and whatever properties that beans have, that bean this class has. The class engine has three properties, namely engine number, type and price. So we will pass them over here. And in main, whenever, okay, similarly, so whichever classes I am using over here, so if I have the car class, I'll have a bean for class car also here. If I have the class HSC music system, for each class I will have a bean over here. So this bean we know how to access in our program. So we go to the main program, and the main method, we make object of any of the bean, any of the IOC container, so bean factory, and then we pass the, so if you're using bean factory, we make a resources element and pass that as an argument. If you're using the advanced IOC container, the J2EE IOC container, then directly pass the fully qualified name of the bean file, and then using the get bean function, we just give the ID of the bean, typecast it to an object, and then call methods of that object, right? So if I want, so I have used over here BU1. So BU1 is some bean over here. We have some ID BU1. So if I want to use this bean, I will give the ID as ECDI, and then typecast it to a engine class object and invoke methods of the engine class object using this. This we have studied using creating beans using XML file. Now let's come and learn how to create a bean using a Java file. So let's come. So in this case, what we do is we make a bean config.java file. First, we have a package. Let's say this is a demo package, and all the classes which I want to make beans of, I've kept in this package. I make a class by the name bean config.java, and then as this is my bean configuration class, so I annotate it as @configuration, and whichever class which I want to make a bean of, so bank new with log before service, all these class should be annotated as components, should be annotated as components. So this becomes my eligible candidate for making a bean. So I can have a bean for class bank. If I have bank new, then that also is a component. If I have a log before service class, that also is a component. So whichever class you wish to make a bean of, that should be annotated with component. And the configurations are in this class, so this is annotated as configuration. Now component scan, as this class will create all the beans of the classes which are annotated with components. So it will scan for all the component classes. It will do a component scan. In which package will it scan for? In the package demo. So in the demo package, all the classes which are marked as component, it will scan that, and it will make a bean of all those classes. So this is the bean config file. Now what we have to just do is, in your main application, so instead of writing the XML, the name of the XML file, give the name of the bean config dot class file. So using .java or .class file. So in that give, and it is an annotation config application context, because we are using annotation at the rate component scan configuration. So use this IOC container. So in the arguments where we would give the fully qualified name of the XML file, you give the name of the fully qualified name of the configuration class. So it is a configuration class bean config dot class. Now whichever class bean you wish to make, just write the name of that class. So if I want to make a bean of bank class, just say get bean and bank dot class. Typecast it. No need to typecast also because we have given for bank class. So you can omit this also. But as we are into a habit of writing this, so no problem, no harm in writing this. Now this will make object of B of bank class. Now if I use this, okay, not this, and now using this B object I can call a function of the bank class. So bank class has function called as deposit, which takes two arguments, string and, so what I can do is over here, here we have formats. So here what I have done is using this B I have called the function deposit using the two arguments, and this will return me the new deposited amount. So the old deposit amount was how much? Balance was 5,000. How much am I depositing? 700. So should be 5,700, right? Let's try to run this. So if I run this, it will show me 5,700. So if I make it as 900 and I run this, it will give me 5,900. Okay, now if I make one more class, bank new. Now I have a class called bank new. Okay, in this, let's say if I put the balance as 7,000 and the account is SBI 111. Now if I want to make a bean of this bank new, what will I do? Instead of writing bank class, I will say, I'll comment this. So I will say make a bean of which class? Bank new class. Typecast it to, now this object B is of which class? Bank new. Now bank new has what function? Deposit new, right? So I will call which function? I will call the deposit new function. Passing argument as, in bank new we had SBI 111, right? SBI 111. So I'll say SBI 111 and I'm passing amount as 9,000. So when I run this, it should show me the balance of 7,900. Yeah. So like this way also we can create beans using a Java file or a class file.